Hello and welcome to our glute workout. We're going to start off by laying on our back with our feet hip width apart. We're going to tuck our tailbone, squeeze our bum and peel up to the ceiling and rolling back down. So each time we do our glute bridge or spinal roll, whatever you want to call it, we're going to tuck our tailbone under, squeeze your bum. Think about slowly lifting up each individual vertebrae at a time. Nice, slow and controlled, focusing on that breathing. That's it. Thinking about articulating that spine nice and slow. Alright, now we're going to stay up on that last one that you do and do pulses up at that top range. So lift, 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 lift. That's it. And we're going to go down. Don't go all the way down. We're going to go to halfway. Squeeze, explode back up. Lift, lower, lift, lower. This one's more about just squeezing the glutes to lift. No spinal curving here. Lift and lower. That's it. Even pressure through the feet and slowly come down from there. Now we're going to move our heels together and our toes turned out. So we're in our froggy position and we're going to do glute bridges in this position. So tuck the tailbone, squeeze your bum, driving up and rolling down. Tuck the tailbone, squeeze your bum, rolling up to the ceiling. Even pressure through your feet. Rolling back down. That's it. Focusing on that breathing as we go up and down. Same thing, thinking about moving that spine as best you can. Almost there. Now we're going to go into our pulses, up in that top range, lift, 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 keep going. That's it. And then we're going to go down on our next one into our halfway position. So lower down, lift up. Don't go all the way down if you can. Try to keep those glutes off the ground. That's it. Nearly there, you got it. And slowly rolling down from there. Rock those knees side to side if you need to. Now from here, we're going to go into our side lying position. And for this one, we're going to have our knees bent, feet in line with our bottom, and our hips are stacked on top of each other. We're going to do clams, 15 of each if I can count correctly. So feet stay together, opening that knee. With this one, you don't have to open up very far to feel it in that glute area. You can lay your head all the way down if you need to, or even get a pillow to be nice and comfortable, because we're going to get a good burn out of this series. Now we're going to keep the knee bent, open and close the whole leg. So keep that foot in line with the knee on the top, your top leg, open and close. Now, especially when we get further through this, you're going to focus on that breathing, because I promise you it is going to hurt, but it's going to be worth it. All right, so now we're going to lift both of our feet up and clam in this position. So I just call this a reverse clam. So same thing, 15 reps of those, open and close. Remember, we're going to try keep our hips stacked on top of each other. So we don't want to roll our hips as the knee opens. So it doesn't matter how wide you open your knees, it's more about that glute. All right, so now we're going to lift, kick out, close and fully close really. So open, extend the leg, bend it back in, close the hip. 15 of these. So now we get a little bit more air time with that leg staying up as we're extending from the knee and bending it back in. Trying to keep our hips stacked on top of each other while we're doing this one. Focus on your breathing. And even though we're laying on our side, we're still engaging through our deep core muscles to help support. All right, now we're going into circles. These ones are honestly a killer. So drawing the circle from the hip joint, so 15 forward, trying to draw them relatively big. So it's what you can do in your hip. Now we're going backwards. That's it. So imagine that hip joint is drawing the circle rather than the knee. So we're working through the hip. That's it. I know it hurts, but we're nearly there. 15 of those. And we're gonna hold. Go, 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 you got it. Keep it lifted as much as you can. So bend it, keep it in that bent knee position, but lifting it away from the other leg and relaxing. You do the glute punch that works for some reason. And we'll do a little glute stretch just to have a little break, really. This will feel quite intense because we've just smashed that glute and hip area. So you don't have to do it if it's too intense. Like for me, I don't even have to lift up my other leg because that's enough of a stretch for me. And we're going to change sides. So you can just roll over, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to face you. So same thing, feet in line with our spine and our bottoms. Our hips are stacked on top of each other, and we're going to start with 15 clams. So open and close, squeezing through that hip. So open and pretend like your feet have glue. And you can put your hand there to feel that contraction through the glute. Sometimes that tactile cue can help you. Engaging through our belly. Now we're going to lift up into our open one. So just open and close with the bent knee. Same thing, keep that top foot in line with that top knee as you open and close. So think about it's moving from the hip. They're all moving from the hip for this one, so not from the knee. The knee's just there for the ride. Nice, so 15 of those ones. And then going into our reverse clam, feet lifted and we're opening and closing. 15 of those, same thing, keep the feet glued, open and close through the knees and working through that hip joint, whatever you can manage. Nice, that's it. Nearly there. I think I'm pretty sure I nearly did 20 on this one. Yeah. Just me doing extras. And now we're going to do our open the hip, extend the leg, bend it, and then close the hip. So now we've got that more air time with the leg. It's going to burn more as we have to work harder to keep that leg lifted for longer. Suddenly your legs will feel like lead and they'll feel super heavy, but that's normal. So opening and closing through the hip and extending, so straightening and bending through the knee for this one. You might also feel your bottom glute that you worked first is also sore still, even though you're laying on it and not doing anything, and that's normal. All right, circles forward. We're nearly there. So drawing from the hip for this one. That's it. 15 of those. We're nearly there. I know it's hurting, but you can do it. And backwards. So drawing from the hip, extending, letting that knee go backwards, driving it forward. So drawing a circle with that hip joint. You can see the pain on my face. That's it, we're nearly there. So 15 of those, and then we'll go into our hold. That's it, and let's go. Last hold of this series. You got it. Lift, lift, lift. Embrace the shake. You got it, you got it. Yes, nearly there. And resting. Have a little glute punch. And then we'll lay onto our back and go into a glute stretch. And just lower that heart rate because it's probably up a lot because you probably unintentionally held your breath. So just take a few nice deep breaths. Just move around to find a position that you can hold. You can hold it for as long as you want. It's totally up to you. Alright, so now from here we're going to go up onto our hands and knees and we're going to do some more glutes. So from here you can go onto your forearms if you do have wrist issues, and you can do that anytime you like. Otherwise we're going to extend one leg out, lift and lower. With this one, we don't want to kick our leg too high up. It's more about the glute extension. So that's opening through that hip joint rather than the back. So when we kick all the way up to the ceiling, that's where the back will do a lot of the work. We're going to stay up there and pulse in that top range. So keep that leg as straight as you can, squeezing through your quad muscle. And now we're going to bend, extend, bend, extend. Now this is where you might find a little bit more of that back movement, but we're trying to still drive through the glute to do that extension. We're going to go out to the side and you're going to lift and lower. So pointing your toes, squeeze your quad. I find that helps when you point your toes. Squeeze in your quad muscles, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Trying to keep even pressure through your hands as much as you want to lean over to that far side. You want to shift your weight back into the center. And we're going to go into rainbows. So we're going to go all the way across past your bent leg. Open. So drawing like the arch of a rainbow really. So keeping the leg as straight as you can. Lift. Up and over. Up and over. That's it. Now remember, the whole time we're engaging through our belly. Have a breath. Your booty is probably on fire. We're going to change sides, so I'll just swap around. And we're going to go lifting and lowering from the ground is our first one. So focusing on that lift and lower. If I count correctly, there's 15 of all of these. Lift and lower. Engage in the belly here. We're just going to do the flipped version of the other one. So we're going to go into our pulses. Lift, lift, lift. That's it. At that top range, lifting and lowering. Perfect. Now we're going to bend, extend. So we're curling under for the bending and extending that leg a little bit higher for this one. So closing and then opening up as that leg goes back. Alright, we're going to lift and lower, pointing our toes, keeping our legs as straight as we can. Trying not to shift through just over to the other side. So we're trying to keep our center of mass in the middle between both of our hands, even though one leg is being lifted up. That's it. Alright, now we're going to go into our rainbows. So keep the legs straight, lift and lower from one side to the other, drawing that arch of the rainbow. Alright, 15 of those ones. Same thing, keeping that pressure through the legs. Alright guys, we are all done. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye!